welcome you watching our brand new show, Trending Burning Question, a show where we take up your cause. We are your voice on this show. Tonight, we raise that burning question as to what's really happening in Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, when India basically contributes to over $1 billion to a country like Australia, and education happens to be one of the most important source of income for Australia, and Indians play a huge role. Despite that, on a regular basis, Indians are being attacked, but there is absolutely no response, no protection that is given to Indians in Australia. There are a rising number of racist attacks, but despite that, there has been no protection that has been granted. That's the big question that we are raising. From temple attacks to the racist attacks that are taking place on Indians, Australia has witnessed temple desecration, violence, racial targeting in the hands of Khalistani elements, and this must stop. The country, taking huge amount of funds from Indian students, has tremendously failed to provide the security to the students. And the question that we are asking tonight, why is it that the Australian government is completely mum about it? And what exactly is Canada really doing about harboring Khalistani terrorists, giving them citizenship and also allowing the platform to raise their so-called cause? Here's a brief report and then we debate.
Khalistani terror overseas and in India is not new. The targeted attack on Hindus and temples is not new. The Indians holding the tricolour were viciously assaulted by Khalistani extremists in Melbourne on 29 January. The attack happened when Indians were peacefully opposing the Khalistan referendum organised by terrorist organisation SFJ. Meanwhile, India has raised attack on tricolour with Australian government and sought prompt action. But with the continuous targeted attack on Hindus and their religious places in Australia, the question is, who is giving Khalistanis a free run? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Burning Question, presented by Samsonite, powered by XUV400.
Ladies and gentlemen, there have been multiple attacks that have been carried out by Khalistani elements operating in not just in Australia, but several other places like Canada as well as United Kingdom. Tonight, we are being joined by one such person who was part of that march when Khalistani members carried out attacks on innocent students. One such person is joining us on this broadcast. We are withholding his name as well as his identity only because of the fear of threats, and there is absolutely no protection. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a clear reflection of the failure on the part of the Australian government, despite the kind of warnings that have been given by multiple Hindu associations operating in Australia. Thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. First, let me take this question with you. A march was carried out and suddenly you were attacked. Tell us what really happened and who were these people?
So actually we were marching towards where the referendum was happening, and we had tricolours with us. We were just opposing the incident they did on 26th in front of Indian consulate with the stepped on Indian Tiranga. And so our oppose was to that and to this fake referendum they are doing. So suddenly when we reached there, and they were behind police. Police was there, but not many. And they started beating us without any reason. We were just only saying, Hindustan Zindabad. And they started beating us with the metal pipes they had in their hands. They were fully prepared. They knew that somebody will come and we will attack them. So this is what happened. Hello?
The other question that I would like to ask you, that
Hello?
we have seen over the last few days, perhaps several weeks, the Khalistani activists, they seem to have been very, very active in cities like Melbourne, in Sydney. A temple was desecrated. What is it that is happening on the ground? Because we believe that there have been multiple Hindu organizations who have flagged this entire issue with the police in Australia, but there seems to be no action that has been taken so far.
Nothing has been happening from police side. I don't know what they are doing. We haven't seen anything on the ground. So I don't know what is happening.
But as far as there is a letter that was written to the Australian police, can you tell us a little bit of details of whether at all, after this attack that has taken place, whether at all the police has come forward, have they been forthcoming in recording your statement or taking any sort of action against those who were responsible for this? I believe that you were also grievously injured.
Yep. I don't know what is police doing. We don't know yet. We'll see. I don't know what comes out from this. And I don't know what to say. Police didn't, they were outnumbered. Police was not in that amount there. They were like hundreds of Khalistani supporters over there, and police were like 4, 5, 6 guys, I think.
Right.
And they just could not stop them. So I've seen in the news that they got 2 of them. One was like 34 years old and another was 39 years old. I don't know what charges they put on them. But yes, swords were used as well. So in one of the videos, somebody told me that there was a guy, he used sword or the dagger they keep with them called kirpan. So they used on one of the kids who were protesting over there.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on the Trending Burning question and sharing with us as to what really has happened. And once again, we're raising this question that now you have the victim who's now openly saying that despite him being attacked, no action was taken by the Australian police. Why is it that they have been silent? And why is it that they have not been able to arrest anyone? On joining us on the Trending Burning question tonight are Manjinder Singh Sirsa of the BJP, Prabloch Singh, he's a human rights activist joining us from Chandigarh, Sansar Singh, President of the Delhi Shiromani Akali Dal, Professor D.K. Giri. Opening up the debate tonight are Manjinder Singh Sirsa. Manjinder Singh Sirsa, interestingly, education is Australia's largest serving export to India, valued at about $4.2 billion. This is a data of October 2022. But having said that, several Indian students, almost 96,000 Indian students are studying in Australia, and it seems that Australian government, the Australian police, do not show that alacrity in arresting the Khalistani rogues who are operating freely in countries like Australia, Canada, the United States.
No, first I would apprise you, I don't see any of them, any of this person who is involved in a Khalistan. I think they are paid people by ISI in the name of Khalistan, and they do not know what's the meaning of Khalistan, why they came over there, what was the reason behind. I think just for a few couple of dollars which was paid by ISI, these are what it looks like. These are, most of those are the students, youngsters. Those have been there for studies. And I think they have been paid to come out there and do this kind of in Melbourne. But I'm very sad to say, and I'm very sorry to say, that those guys who I can see in this video, most of those parents are here in India, and they must also be realizing what their kids are doing there. And this is only happening, why? Because Australian government is not serious on this issue. Neither in last couple of months what happened there, the various graphics was put outside the mandars, but Australian government chose to be mum. And now after this kind of violence and this kind of acts on street, still the Australian government is so silent. So I think one day they will realize that the fire is on the house, then they will realize what mess they have created there in Australia, in Melbourne.
संसार सिंह साहब, आपसे भी ये सवाल करना चाहूंगा कि कहीं ना कहीं जिस तरह से हम लोग देख रहे हैं, लगातार सवाल यही उठ रहे हैं कि खालिस्तानियों को एक तरह से खुली छूट दी गई है। कनाडा में खुली छूट दी गई है, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में भी दी गई है, और साथ ही साथ ये भी देखा जा रहा है कि वहां पे कई सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस बनाए जा रहे हैं, और इस तरह से इंडियंस के ऊपर लगातार ऐसे हमले होते आ रहे हैं। संसार सिंह साहब, आपसे यह सवाल करना चाहूंगा, आपको लगता है कि कहीं ना कहीं भारत सरकार इस पूरे मामले को ठीक तरह से उठा नहीं पाई? क्योंकि आप जिस तरह से देख रहे हैं, एक तरह से मंदिर को अटैक किया गया, स्टूडेंट्स को अटैक किया जा रहा है, और इसके पीछे मनजिंदर सिंह सिरसा साहब तो कह रहे हैं कि खुलेआम कह रहे हैं कि आईएसआई के द्वारा पैसे दिए जा रहे हैं और ये खालिस्तानी एलिमेंट्स काम कर रहे हैं। तो इसके पीछे कोई इसके खिलाफ क्यों नहीं बात कर रहा? We'll try and reconnect. Let me take this to Professor T.K. Giri. Professor T.K. Giri, are we really falling short somewhere? Are we really falling short somewhere? Because at the end of the day, Manjinder Singh Sirsa, I'll bring you in a short while from now. Let Professor T.K. Giri also come in. Professor T.K. Giri, let's not forget the contribution that India makes to Australia. I've already read out some of the statistics. I'll do that in the course of the debate. But the fact of the matter is that what will it take for foreign governments to realize the threat that Khalistanis perhaps, indicate time and again, but despite that, seems to be a complete free run, a platform that has been given to the Khalistanis to operate in countries like this?
Well, I mean, I think what Mr. Sirsa said, I tend to agree with him. These are not Khalistanis per se. There's a bunch of mercenaries paid by somebody to unleash this attack on the students. And Australia has a Labour government. It's a progressive government as far as I know. And they have just come to power and they're part of an international progressive alliance. So they will not certainly promote it or they will ignore it once it comes to their notice. And the government of India and your clippings, somehow when they come to know of it, they will take action. But I think it is a sudden attack to me, it looks like, and there are a few mercenaries, really paid mercenaries doing it. So it's not an Australia-wide phenomenon that they're giving a free run to Khalistanis. I would refuse to believe that, although their societies are different and they allow free discussion, free debates and contests to take place. So, but unleashing violence and allowing violence to take place, that is not in their either thinking or in their culture. At least I can talk about that. Racist attack is something else. And this is not a racial attack. This is a political, calculated political, ideological attack. A fight between supporters of Indians and so-called supporters of
But why is it difficult? Why is it difficult to accept? Why is it difficult to accept that a country like Canada allows a person like Pannu to basically to operate freely? Let's not forget, if the Khalistani referendum that they're talking about, it is only possible because at the end of the day, we are allowing that to actually happen. We are allowing that to happen, and somewhere down the line, the so-called, democratic forces in Canada, they appear to have been completely submissive. They have now given it to the Khalistani elements to even run their own government.
Yes, Canadian politics is more complex than Australia. Canada, as you know, there is a sizable segment of Punjabi population who have sneaky sympathy for Khalistanis. And when you stay abroad, you have all kinds of irrational affinity with your mother country. And Canada is one of the examples of that. So majority of Canadians, mainly Sikhs, have perhaps sympathy for Khalistan. That is why the present Canadian government is pandering to them. So it is their domestic political compulsion which is bearing upon us. So we can protest it, but they are driven by their own political compulsion.
Let me also quickly get in Prabhloj Singh. Okay, Prabhloj Singh, let's understand one thing. That there has been a clear resurgence of the Khalistanis and their activities in various countries put together. Let's make no mistake of the fact that there is a clear funding that's coming in. This needs to stop. Someone needs to step in. We need to understand that they are no activists. These are Khalistani terrorists who are now operating freely. Countries are giving them that kind of platform. Let's not forget the multiple attacks that have taken place in the state of Punjab. I can list out number of such attacks where there is a clear Khalistani link. But when the National Investigation Agency goes to Canada, they are blocked.
So, Shobhan, thanks for bringing this up. So right now, when these attacks take place on people carrying the tricolor, first of all, I want everybody to know that if you leave these writers alone, these 25, 30 people or whatever number that was, if you leave them alone for a few minutes, you will see they'll start fighting among themselves. Okay, so these are people who do not represent any ideology, they do not represent any country, and they certainly don't represent any community. Sikh community, the Indian diaspora abroad, is very wise and is not a part of the group that attacked these people carrying the Tiranga. Another thing I want to highlight here is for the Indian diaspora, those staying abroad in Australia and Canada, whenever they're organizing any event or any protest in which they're carrying the Tiranga, I think they should partner with the Indian consulate abroad in that country, and they should ensure that no harm is caused to the Tiranga. Enough is enough. There has to be some limit to it. We've had enough. We cannot have
what I don't understand,
we cannot have our national flag.
Prabhat Singh, I'm running short of time. No, what I can't understand, Prabhat Singh, sorry, I'm running out of time, so I want a quick response from you, and then I want to give the last word to Sansar Singh also. Prabhat Singh, now in this particular matter, there is a timeline. The timeline is this, that multiple letters are written by the Hindu organizations to the Australian police, warning them of attacks that can actually take place. No security is provided, no protection is provided, and it seems that this was done in a deliberate manner. You heard the victim who joined us on this debate, at the beginning of this debate, and he says that I've been attacked, I've sustained serious injuries, and no one has really bothered. No one has even come and taken a statement.
See, what immediately needs to be done, Shravan, is all the writers who were a part of this attack, they should be identified, a list should be prepared, and then between the Indian government and the Australian government, they should decide how to deal with these guys. Set an example so that next time, even if somebody pays them money to do it, they refuse to do it. They think twice before doing it. I think it's time that we need to set an example with such attackers. Because, like I said, we've had enough of it, and it's no more a joke. Nobody has the right to insult the national flag, no matter what the difference is. So, the Australian government,
I'm really
the Australian
running
authorities.
sort of time.
Sure.
प्रबलोत सिंह, I'm really running short of time. संसार सिंह साहब, आपसे एक आखिरी सवाल पूछना चाहूंगा. अगर आप डेटा की बात करें तो 17% लोग वहां पे जो पढ़ने जा रहे हैं वो भारतीय हैं. चाइना के बाद अगर सबसे ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स अगर जा रहे हैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया में वो इंडियंस हैं. इसके बावजूद कहीं ना कहीं ये देखा जा रहा है कि कोई प्रोटेक्शन नहीं दिया जाता. लगातार उनके ऊपर अटैक्स बढ़ते जा रहे हैं और इसके पीछे एक ही ग्रुप है और वो है खालिस्तानी.
नहीं, खालिस्तानी किसी के पीछे नहीं है, किसी का कुछ नहीं है. सिर्फ ये हुआ है जब कोई एक शांतिपूर्वक वहाँ वोट हो रही है.
आप कैसे कह सकते हैं कि तो खालिस्तानियों इसके पीछे ने? मनजिंदर सिंह सिरसा, संसार सिंह says that there is no खालिस्तानी link. ये हुआ है क्या? ये हुआ है?
नहीं देखिए,
नहीं हुआ नहीं है.
मनजिंदर सिंह
कोई अपना हक मांगता है तो उसके ऊपर, अगर कोई आदमी अपना हक मांगता है,
हक मांगने वाले हैं, इनको पता ये मानने क्या गए हैं.
हुआ नहीं है तो अगर वहां अगर वोटिंग हो रही है, वोटिंग के ऊपर कोई जानबूझ के खलल डाले तो कुदरती है, वो तो होता ही है ऐसा. अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अंदर
देखिए,
मनजिंदर सिंह सिरसा, ये होता ही है, इंडियंस आर बीइंग अटैक्ड, ये होता ही है, एंड दिस मेंटालिटी इज बेसिकली एडिंग द खालिस्तानी एक्टिविटीज. Manjinder Singh Sirsa, one last word and we end the debate.
सो मैं आपको फिर से दोबारा कह दूं, ना तो ये हमारी सिख कम्युनिटी को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, ना ये ऑस्ट्रेलिया के सिखों को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. कुछ चंद लोग हैं जिनको कुछ डॉलर देकर ISI ने इनको भेजा. आप इनमें से किसी से पूछेंगे, इनको ये भी नहीं पता कि ये किस लिए यहाँ पे आए हैं, इनका क्या पर्पस था. और ये कोई पहली बार नहीं है, हमने अमेरिका में भी देखा है, कनाडा में भी देखा है. और ये लोग हम सिखों को बदनाम कर रहे हैं, दुनिया भर के अंदर हमें मजाक का पात्र बना रहे हैं. हम देशप्रस्त लोग हैं, देश के लिए मरने मिटने वाले लोग हैं, लेकिन इनकी बदवियों के कारण हम दुनिया भर में बदनाम हो रहे हैं. मैं तो इनके माँ बाप से आग्रह करता हूँ, अपने बच्चों को पहचानो और इनको बताओ कि तुम कितना बड़ा पाप कर रहे हो भारत के झंडे के साथ. जो तुम कर रहे हो, ये तुम भारत के अंदर भारत की अस्मा को तुम जो जोड़ने का काम कर रहे हो, इसी भारत में.
मनजिंदर सिंह सिरसा, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, Manjinder Singh Sirsa, to abruptly stop you. We're running really short of time, but thank you very much, Manjinder Singh Sirsa, Prabloch Singh, Sansar Singh, and Professor D.K. Kuri for joining us on the brand new edition of the trending burning question.
Burning Question, presented by Samsonite, powered by XUV400.